Do you realize that Bill Gates, the number 2 richest person in the world right now, with a net worth of $96 billion, reads 50 books a year? Yeah, that's 50. 50. If he can make $96 billion and still find the time to read a book a week, what is our excuse? The thing is, the only difference between you and someone rich is that they already know how to become wealthy. And if you want to fill that gap and learn what they know, then reading the right books is a great way to get there. Hi, I'm Kim, and I've put together 3 of the best books to help you learn how to become rich and get your finances headed in the right direction. The first 2 books you may have heard of, but I can almost guarantee you've never heard of book number 3. So let's start with the first book, The Richest Man in Babylon. This was one of the first books I read that changed the way I thought about money, investing, and saving. The main story of the book is about Arcad, who starts out as a poor scribe, but builds up enough money to become the richest man in Babylon. The book is mostly made up of short stories about the ancient Babylonian Empire. These stories teach simple lessons about how to get rich. In the book, Arcad tells 7 stories that explain 7 secrets about how to get rich. They are definitely worth discussing, so let's look at each of the 7 secrets and see what we can learn. The first secret is to start putting money in your pocket. What does it have to do with anything? The main idea behind this is to pay yourself first. Even if you have debts to pay off, the book says you should save at least 10% of all your income, no matter how much you spend. Student loans, credit cards, personal loans. Still, the book says that you should save at least 10% of your income. And it goes without saying that the money you're putting away and saving won't just sit in your bank account. You will invest it. The second secret is to keep your spending in check. This means living within your means and keeping your lifestyle from getting too expensive. When I first got out of college and got a real job, whatever that means, all of my friends were already buying new houses, cars, and other luxury items that they could barely afford. In the meantime, I was using my money to start businesses and start investing so that I wouldn't have to work for money forever. If you spend less than you earn, save more than you spend, and make the necessary sacrifices now, you'll set yourself up for a much wealthier and happier future. The third secret is to find a way to make your gold grow. This just means putting your money somewhere else. Start to save. Always be on the lookout for opportunities for financial growth and a return on your investment. It can be as simple as index fund investing with a 3-fund portfolio approach, or as extensive as starting a business. Of course, with any investment, there is some risk, which brings us to the next one. The fourth secret is to make sure you don't lose your treasures. This means you should avoid investments that seem too good to be true. I think this is more important than ever right now. With the rise of NFTs, cryptocurrencies, and scammers pretending to be me on Instagram, it's easy to be tricked into making bad investment decisions. Some of the best investments people have ever made are also the most boring. Broad market, diversified ETFs, index funds, stocks, and bonds. All of these things are not even close to as fun as a Bored Ape. Not that I have anything against board games, but they are investments that have been shown to make money over time. The fifth secret is to make that house an investment that makes money. Now, this is something that can be argued about. It means owning your home so you can start building equity. Make sure you'll have money in the future. This is the sixth secret. This means saving money for old age. Plan for your old age when you're young. Time is on your side. You've got more energy. Use it to the fullest. The book talks about investing in things like real estate, land, and life insurance that will pay you for the rest of your life, and even after you die. And the last and seventh secret is that it takes more work to make money. This is my favorite one, because it means putting money into yourself. I talked a lot about this in a video I just made about how to start with nothing and build wealth. If you want to make more money, you have to give more value to the world. The more special and unique you are, the more money you make. That's a good way to think about the last point. So, work on yourself. Go to school, watch YouTube videos, watch videos on Skillshare. You get the idea. Keep getting better at things so that you can make yourself even more valuable. The next book is titled Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Many of you probably already know about this book or even have read it, which wouldn't really surprise me. I would say that this is probably one of the most well-known books about money and building wealth. The book is mostly about three main characters: Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and the son of Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki himself. Throughout the book, the author learns lessons from both his own father, who is the poor dad, and the father of his best friend, who is the rich dad. Poor Dad went to an Ivy League school and had a PhD, so he wasn't exactly uneducated or unintelligent. He had a good job, got a raise every once in a while, time off for vacation and sick days, insurance, and all the other perks. But he was never able to get ahead financially for some reason. He couldn't get out of the rat race. The poor dad said, "I can't afford it." And that was how he lived his life. If his job didn't pay him enough, he would just settle and say, "I can't afford it," if he wanted a nicer house or car, an extra vacation, or just more freedom. The rich dad, on the other hand, was very different. The rich dad knew a lot about investing, ran a business, and owned real estate. The rich dad would never say, "I can't afford it." Instead, he would ask, "How can I afford it?" You see, because in life, no matter what happens, you end up with what you settle for. If you're happy with having an average job and an average income, then you'll always end up with those things. If you want more out of life, you want a bigger paycheck, more chances, more freedom, and more options. Don't settle for less if you want those things. The main idea of this book is to show you how to use your money to build wealth. It's basically what rich parents teach their children that poor and middle-class parents don't. The book busts the idea that rich people are born wealthy. Yes, some people are born into wealthy families and are a little bit luckier. But anyone can start from scratch and become wealthy if they have the desire and the will to do so. In the end, the author decides to believe and learn from his rich dad more than from his poor dad. Because of this, he went on to become rich in real life. I highly recommend the book to anyone who is serious about getting rich. One day, this will be something that my kids will have to read. The next book on the list is probably one you never heard of, and you probably won't hear anyone else talk about it either. However, Acres of Diamonds by Russell Conwell is one of my top 3 favorite books of all time. Now, it's worth mentioning that another book with the same title came out in 2020, but that isn't the book I'm talking about. Russell Conwell's book actually came out in the 1890s. It is a true story of an African farmer named Ali. The book talks about how we are all standing on our own acre of diamonds, figuratively speaking. You might think that to be successful, you need to know a certain person, have a certain amount of money, or have a certain number of followers on social media. But you're forgetting that all of those things like money, popularity, and connections are just side effects. When you focus on yourself and how you can keep building your skills and value, there are things that happen as a result. It's easy to be jealous of someone else's diamond farm. Jennifer has so many friends, or Pablo knows 5 different languages. But don't forget that you have a diamond farm in your own backyard. But if you don't cultivate your farm, the diamonds will never grow. If you focus on someone else's farm, you are ignoring your own. And what are your diamonds? Well, you won't know until you grow them. Everyone's diamonds are different, but the only way to find yours is to nurture your acre and grow your capacities for wealth. I love this idea because it teaches us that everyone has a capacity to become wealthy, but not everyone's capacity is identical. And in order to explore that path, we each need to focus on our own quote-unquote farm. So cool! So, those are the 3 books I think you should read to start your journey to becoming wealthy. As you're learning how to reach your financial goals, whether that is to provide for your family, take a vacation, or retire early, financial education is a big part of that future. In fact, if you really want to educate yourself and better understand how money works, then watch this video next where I talk about the rules of money and how to use them to improve your financial outlook. Click here to watch that one next, and I'll see you there!